Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is another installment of What If Cinema. And the topic for this episode is what if Arthur and the War of the Two Worlds had some differences? Specifically, how would I handle Selenia and Beta being human sized? And before I go any further, sharing my thoughts on this topic, I want to give a special shout out to Sylvia for requesting this video. And if there's another film, TV show, or topic that you would like to see me discuss in the future, feel free to donate to my PayPal. The link will be in the video description down below, and I will try to get to it as soon as I possibly can. Now, Arthur and the Visibles 3, or Arthur and the War of the Two Worlds, I wouldn't change that much when it comes to the bulk of the script. I wouldn't change anything when it comes to the director or the writer. Luc Besson is still going to be the writer and director. I wouldn't change anything in terms of the cast because I don't think that's plausible. Although, if I had my way, I would rather have Madonna voice Selenia instead of Selena Gomez, but that's just me. And I would switch some things up. I would change the tone. I wouldn't make it so comedic and silly. I think for this installment, it should have a more consistent tone for the end of the trilogy. Things should be taken a bit more seriously. I'll have some moments of levity, but not as many that were in the final film. And I would change things up when it comes to Darkos, even though I don't mind Darkos being a good guy, and I had some fun with that at times. It doesn't make much sense if you look at the context of the previous two films. So I'm going to axe that entirely. I'm going to make Darkos just the sub villain. That's what he is. He's the sub villain. He is very much Malfazar's right hand man. He's leading the army, that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna have him be this lovable doofus type character. I'm not gonna go that route. And the main reason for that is so I can have something for Selenia to do in the film's climax, in the retooled climax, in the finale. Because honestly, a lot of the stuff leading up to the finale, just leave it as is. Other than maybe throw in a little bit here and there to establish Darkos further as a genuine antagonist for Selenia. Like I would throw in, there's a bit of a backstory between Selenia and Darkos, where she had a lover at one point in time. She really loved this Minimoy, and Darkos killed him in battle. And Selenia has always wanted to get revenge over her fallen lover. And the reason why she's not committing to a relationship with Arthur is because of the fact that she doesn't want Arthur to suffer the same fate that her previous lover did. So she's conflicted. So there's a lot of conflict involving that. So you could have some moments where Arthur might be involved in a fight, or he's fighting Darkos and she's afraid, and so on. So all of that would culminate with her getting involved in the finale and mustering the strength and the courage to battle Darkos herself. Because I would have Selenia and Beta, they would also grow to human size. I definitely felt that was a missed opportunity when it comes to the movie, and I don't understand why they didn't do that. Because Selenia and Beta are just basically on the side for the majority of the final battle, which is a puzzling choice to say the least. So I would have Selenia and Beta, they would share some of the honey, and that enables them to grow to human size, that enables Arthur to become human again. And I know the logic behind it might be a little confusing. Like, okay, well, why does it Arthur turn human and they don't? It's magic. It works differently for different people. Like Arthur's not really a mini moy, so when he becomes full size, it's just him returning back to normal. So mini moys don't have another form to turn into, so they just grow to human size. And so I would have Beta and Arthur where they would team up and they would be working together with the grandfather and so on to try to stop Malfazar's evil plan. And then Selenia would be the one that would provide the distraction for them by challenging Darkos. So Selenia would challenge Darkos. They would get in this big sword fight, this big battle, and then Arthur and Beta and Arthur's family, they would work together to stop Malfazar and his plan to take over Arthur's world. And there would still be a lot of explosions. There'd be a lot of moments where Arthur would still be riding the bugs, and I wouldn't really have a lot of stuff where Arthur was just like trapped or kidnapped or tied up or any of that. He's in motion for the majority of the finale, and so is Beta, and so is a lot of other people. And I would have Beta be the one that delivers the formula, or the potion, so to speak, to make Malphazar small again, because that enables Beta to have something that he can call his own when it comes to being a hero. I think that would be a nice thing to provide that character with, is a heroic moment of triumph. So that's really what I would do with it, is maintain a similar finale with the explosions and the attack on the city or the town. It's not really a city, it's a town. And throw in more action. So you have the fights between Selenia and Darkos. You have Selenia eventually becoming victorious and defeating Darkos. But then you could have some stuff that happens in the finale where she's defeated Darkos, but now Malphazar's turned his attention to her, and so now Arthur has to get involved, and Arthur is now fighting Malphazar. Um, and maybe there could be something where through some other potion that Arthur's grandfather has, maybe that Arthur can become a mini moy again, and now he's full size. He's a full size mini moy, just like Selenia and Beta, and he that enables him to get the upper hand and defeat Malphazar, or at least beat him in combat just enough so Beta can uh, deliver the shrinking potion to Malphazar. And you could have this whole sort of ending where it's sort of a conflict where Arthur's having to decide whether or not he wants to go and be with the Minimoys, or whether or not he wants to go back and be with his family. And eventually, of course, for the sake of the story, I think it would be interesting if he just returned with the Minimoys instead. He just went to be with Selenia and Beta, and his parents and his grandfather understood the decision, and because of the fact that he loves her, and there's no way for her to be human unless you could do that. You could do that would might be an interesting route to take too, with the ending where um but that makes things complicated because Selenia is like a really old mini moy. So would she be really old, like an older woman when she becomes human? But since it's all just sci-fi or fantasy, like you could just make up whatever rule you want. So how about, yeah, okay, in many more years she's old, but if she when she becomes human, she's still the same age as Arthur. So the two are able to be together. And the ending is, instead of Arthur choosing to be a mini moy and leaving his family and leaving his world behind, It's Selenia choosing to be human so she can be with Arthur, and she's adopted by Arthur's family, and it's one of those things where they're not they're not like brother and sister because that just makes it really awkward. But it's just one of those things where she's technically, a kid, so there's no other way for the two to stay together, because it's not like they're gonna go live on their own. So that's just kind of what I had floating around in my head at the moment. I think you could go either way with it. You could have the ending where Arthur chooses to be with the Minimoys, or Sonia becomes human. You can go with it however you want. Um, but yeah, I think that would be definitely capping things off in a way that feels a little bit more satisfying. And when it comes to Selenia and Beta in particular, you give them something to actually do in the finale of the film instead of how it is in the actual movie, where they're on the sideline and they really don't do much of anything. I think they do a little bit, but not nearly to the extent as what you really feel that they should, considering how this is all built up with the first film and the second movie, and then leading up to Arthur 3. Like, you would think that Selenium and Beta would definitely be more integral to the finale of the movie, and to defeating Malthazar once and for all. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Arthur and the War of Two Worlds, and the what if scenario involving Selenia and Beta becoming human size. And thank you once again for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. See ya.